All right, let's talk about the AI race, because right now it is an absolute gold rush. Fortunes are being made, chaos is everywhere, but one of the biggest players on the planet has been weirdly quiet. Well, until now.
So this is the big question on everyone's mind, right? Is Apple finally getting in the game? For years, it's felt like they've been trailing way behind. But a huge move is finally in the works, and it's all about fixing the one product that really, really needs it, Siri.
Yep, you heard that right. Apple is getting serious about AI, and their big plan involves teaming up with none other than their old partner, Google. The goal? To completely tear down and rebuild Siri from the ground up.
So, what is this thing actually? Internally, it's being called World Knowledge Answers, and you should think of it as a super smart search engine that's built right into Siri, but also into Safari and Spotlight search. The whole point is to give you those really rich, summarized answers, kind of like you get from Google's AI overviews or Perplexity. And it's all going to be powered by a Google AI model, with the target launch date, get this, in spring 2026.
Okay, so that's the what. But what about the how? How is Apple actually going to pull off this big Siri comeback? Well, it all starts with a totally new architecture under the hood.
The new Siri is basically being built in 3 steps. First, there's something called the planner, and its job is to figure out what you're actually asking. Then the search system kicks in and goes out to fetch all the info it needs. And finally, the summarizer takes that pile of data and turns it into a simple, coherent answer for you.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. To pick a partner, Apple held what they called a bake-off. And here's the wild part. Anthropic's model, Claude, actually performed better than Google's Gemini. But, and it's a big but, Anthropic wanted over $1.5 billion a year. Google came in with a much better deal and, well, they got the contract. At the end of the day, money talks. But wait, notice who's not at the table. OpenAI, the biggest name in the game. I mean, it was just last year that Apple was promoting ChatGPT on the iPhone, and now they're completely ghosting them in these talks. We don't know if it's a business thing or a tech thing, but their absence is super weird and definitely raises a lot of questions.
You have to understand, Apple isn't making this move in a vacuum. They're responding to the absolutely bonkers gold rush of money that's flooding the entire AI industry. The pressure on them to do something must have been just immense.
Just to give you a sense of the scale here, let's just follow the money. At the beginning of the year, OpenAI was valued at an already mind-blowing $300 billion.
But the frenzy is so intense that just a few months later, that valuation is already pushing $500 billion. I mean, that kind of growth is just staggering. And hey, it's not just OpenAI. Their biggest European rival, Mistral, is in the middle of raising 2 billion euros. That one single investment is double all the money they had raised ever.
So this is what the world looks like now. You've got the giant OpenAI at a $500 billion valuation. And then you have these incredibly well-funded challengers like Mistral coming in at 14 billion euros. The amount of cash being thrown at this space is just on another level.
But all that money, well, it brings its own special brand of chaos. This isn't just some clean corporate race. It's a messy, human-driven scramble for the best talent, and it's causing some serious drama behind the scenes. For a perfect example, just look at the timeline over at Elon Musk's company, xAI. Their CFO joins in April, and he's gone by July. He lasted 3 months. A few weeks later, their top lawyer is out, and then a week after that, a co-founder leaves to go start his own thing. It's a revolving door, and it points to some real instability. And, you know, sometimes these departures tell a story. When xAI's lawyer, Robert Keel, left, he didn't just give the usual corporate line. He added this little gem about his relationship with Elon Musk. There's daylight between our worldviews. Oof, that says a whole lot, doesn't it? This kind of high-pressure environment doesn't just make people quit either. It's also leading to some really intense fights. The competition is spilling out of the boardrooms and straight into the courtrooms. A classic example is this legal fight between 2 startups, Scale AI and Merkor. Scale's accusing a guy who used to work for them of stealing more than 100 secret documents before he jumped ship to their rival, Merkor. Merkor's side of the story? They're basically saying we don't want their secrets and that the guy just had some old files on a personal laptop they never even looked at. It is a messy, classic corporate espionage showdown.
So you've got Apple making a huge strategic play, you've got this financial frenzy, you've got talent wars, and you've even got lawsuits flying around. What on earth does all of this add up to?
It means that the AI war is being fought on all fronts, all at once. You've got the clash of the titans, like Apple and Google. You've got the insane fundraising race with OpenAI and Mistral. You've got these high-stakes talent battles causing turmoil at places like XAI. And you've even got the corporate spy games between smaller startups.
So, what's the one clear takeaway from all this chaos? Well, if you were looking for any sign at all that the AI boom is cooling off, forget about it. It's not. The race is only getting faster, messier, and honestly, a whole lot more interesting to watch.